Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, a warm welcome to you all. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. Tonight, our show is in partnership with E360 TV. At our channel, USA Global TV, we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. And tonight, we'll be providing just that inspiration and education. My name is Caroline HEWARD, and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. A warm welcome to our loyal viewers that are here regularly on USA Global TV, and a welcome to our new viewers from E360 TV. If you're watching on the live or the replay, a warm welcome wherever you are in the world. Tonight's show is a woman's prerogative, part 1. We have a part 2 in a couple of hours, British summertime, 9 p.m. Tonight, I am usually joined by a couple of panelists, our wonderful Dr. Madalene Chan and Dr. Justina MUTALE. Unfortunately, they are so expert in what they do and so occupied and busy with clients that they've been unable to attend our show tonight. But we will be seeing them both back next week on Monday at the same time. So tonight I'm here as your person, your host, and your panelist and everything tonight. So I'm here to help you, and our topic tonight is the power of mentorship, empowering women through guidance. Now, luckily for me, this topic is my creme de la creme. It's what I do. So before I head into the topic, I want to just tell you a little bit about me so that you understand where you are with how I share the information tonight and the education and inspiration. Well, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help people literally bust their stress. How do I do that? I've been working with root cause therapy and chakra psychology, how the mind and body connects, and what happens to the person physically, emotionally, mentally, behaviorally when there's an imbalance. And the imbalance is the symptom. So it's whatever they're complaining about. You might be complaining about a relationship or a work situation or a situation in the family. It might be a physical ache and pain, like neck pain, back pain. It might be that you keep getting infections. It might be that you can't sleep. Sometimes people walk around and they say, I'm not stressed, but then they quite gleefully turn around and say, but I don't sleep very well and I'm suffering with permanent headaches. That's how your body is expressing your stress. Please reach out to me on nomorestress@live.co.uk and I will help you bust your stress. So let's move into the topic. Empowerment, the power of mentorship, empowering women through guidance. Well, this is a fascinating topic because it took me a long time before I understood what mentorship was. And I used to be in those training rooms. I spent a lot of time in training from the age of 27 and I'm now 60. So from the age of 27, I was sitting in front of people that were really experts and mentors and trainers. And I was sitting in rooms and they were telling me that they learnt this from their mentor, and they learnt this amazing technique from one of their mentors. And I didn't really understand the difference. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to start with, what's the difference between training, mentoring, coaching, counseling? Because there is a big difference. So when you're being mentored by somebody, here's what the difference is. If you're being coached, usually they are looking to draw out of you what it is, the answer that you need, the reason or the situation that you're seeking to resolve. They're looking to draw that out in you for you to come up with the possible solutions generally. Unless you're working with somebody very advanced, and then they might offer you some mentoring. From my perspective, mentoring is very different. It's when somebody comes to me and they haven't got a clue. They have a problem or a challenge and they don't know what to do. So they are looking to me for solutions. They're looking to me to use my knowledge, my expertise to help them solve a problem that they couldn't find for themselves. So rather than drawing it out of them, I'm literally listening, and listening is the key. I'm listening to their problem, their situation, what they've tried. So it is important from a mentor's perspective to listen, to see what the problem is that the person wants to resolve, what they're struggling with. Have you heard the scenario where somebody's in a situation, it might be a relationship that's really bothering them and they're in a lot of stress with it, and other people around them, so their friends, their family, are pointing out what they see as glaringly obvious. They will see the things that the person in the situation that's having the problem relationship or the problem scenario at work, they will not see it because they're right in the middle of it. They're in the middle of the storm. And when you're in the middle of the storm, you just can't see stuff because you're in it. Now, Einstein actually said, and he did say this, he said, you can't resolve a problem in the same consciousness that the problem was created. So if you are the creator of that problem, that challenge, it is unlikely that you will be able to see past what the problem is because you're in it. Now, my mum, she's very wise. She might not be university educated, but my mum is extremely wise. And she used to say to me when I was a child, you can't see the wood through the trees. And I didn't really know what it meant. I did know that, what she was really saying was I just couldn't see anything because I was in the problem. And that's exactly what it was. And how that breaks down is I couldn't see what was right in front of me. So I couldn't see the wood, and all the trees are wood. The bark is wood. I couldn't see the wood through the trees, meant that I couldn't see past what was glaringly in my space. Have you ever been in a situation where you've lost your keys and you can't find them and you keep going back to the place that you think you've left them and you just don't see them? And then suddenly you slow down, you take a breath, you retrace your steps, and you find your keys exactly where you were looking. Well, that's because you can't see something while you're in the mire of the problem. And so when people are in a problem or a challenge, or they're struggling with something that they want to solve, or they want to move forward with something, it's very hard for some, unless they have lots of regular coaching or counseling, to really dig underneath and be able to see it. And that's what a mentor is. A mentor is somebody that can literally, you give them the problem, you give them the situation that you're in that you want to resolve, and they will see everything. If they actively listen, which is one of the skills of a mentor, they listen to everything that you're saying, and then they will offer something that you may not have thought about. They may offer a perspective that you probably hadn't looked at. And this is how I view mentorship. It's going to see someone or asking somebody's advice of a problem or a situation or something you're looking to resolve where you can't see it. and you're so into the situation that you're looking for a new perspective. And sometimes I say to people, especially when they're running around in a problem, would you like a different perspective on that? And sometimes they say yes. I'd be interested to hear what your take is on this. And then what I do is I literally take the problem and turn it 360 degrees on its head and present the issue in a different way and a possible solution for them. And it's usually met with, wow, I didn't see it like that. And so when we're looking at empowering women through guidance, which is the part 2 of our topic, the power of mentorship, and then actually empowering women through that guidance, what we're looking at there is the guidance from a new and different perspective. You can't solve something in the same perspective of where you created the problem or where you're presented and living in the challenge or the problem. And when you look for a mentor and you find a mentor that can listen actively to what's happening for you and then look at giving you perspective and possible solutions that maybe you just hadn't thought about. So how does that help you? Well, when you're only looking in one place and you're in this challenge, it's very hard to work out what to do because you're right in the middle of the whole situation and all you see is the problem. Now, when you are in that place, it's very hard to find and focus on a solution because generally when you're in a challenge, you're focused on the problem. And that's the difference, because when you're in a challenge situation where you're looking for answers or a way forward and you're not finding them, because when you focus on the problem, it will bring you more of what you're focused on, which is the problem. Now, when you tap into a mentor, you will find that they're not in the problem and they will have a wealth usually of experience. It might not be from the place where you reside within your work and your expertise, but they have a wealth of experience in many different diverse opportunities that they've covered. And so it's not about age and it's not about where you are in terms of levels. It's more about place. I can be in London and that person can be in Australia. There is no level in that. There is only different perspectives from where you are, what place you're residing from. And I felt that it was important to give you a perspective on what mentorship is and what it isn't. So somebody that's seeking a mentor is looking for their expertise and knowledge and education from their understanding and their knowledge of what you're experiencing. So somebody, usually a mentor, can be much older in terms of their expertise because they've had the University of Life, and also they've had the University of the different educations and experience in the world in terms of the challenges that they've encompassed. School, university, college, they don't equip you to handle and be able to solve relationship stuff and many issues, but we all have to handle them. And this is where a mentor can come in and give you that guidance from their own experiences and expertise and their own mistakes and downfalls, as well as the things that have made them successful. So let's look at guidance from a mentor. One of the things that I have experienced and I have learnt from my own mentors, and when I became a mentor myself, which actually happened quite naturally as the time went on, I was looking, I need a mentor, I need a master. That's what I used to say, I need a master. And one of the things that was said to me was, when the student is ready, the master will appear. And I found that quite tongue-in-cheek, and I always used to say that's as useful as a brick, because I want somebody's help now, and I wasn't ready to receive it. So when you're looking for a mentor, you will energetically and through a vibrational connection connect to the right person to give you the guidance that you need. And it's not always necessarily where you think it might be. It's sometimes in people that you never expect or suspect might become a mentor. I was actually in a reading group a couple of years ago. It was 2021, I think it was. And I met this beautiful lady. We were all online and we were studying a book and learning from it. And we were reading different parts as a group together. And it was a biography. And we were then sharing our perspectives, what we got from the passage that we had read, how it made us feel, and the things that touched us and aligned it with what was coming up for us in terms of our understanding or not understanding of what we just read. And we shared that with the group. I'd never done anything like that before, and it was quite fascinating for me, and it really got me into the book in a big way. And one of the people that was on that particular group, she was quite young, she was 28, and she shared with me, and so did some of the other members, wow, I never thought about it like that. When you read and you share it, I feel different things. And they actually loved my shares. And I was just doing what I normally do, you know, the things that come up for me and how I align it to my life or some of the challenges that come up that I have to handle. And it was fascinating because I was getting direct feedback. And what happened was that one of the ladies that was quite reserved in the call and, you know, quite shy because it was her first time. And we were reading a book within a group that was of quite high caliber people within a peace organization. And she was, I think, a little bit overwhelmed in terms of, you know, it was a new introduction to the organization. And she became naturally a mentee, because she said that she was really guided by some of the things that I shared. And we became what I felt was friends to begin with. We sort of, you know, she said, well, if you're going to something, please tell me where you're going, what you're doing, because I like, you know, how you sound, and I really want to explore some things. Now, she was a hotshot city lawyer. And one of the things that I was uncomfortable about was, would she be interested? Would this be appealing to her? And so I did all sorts of things, all sorts of different meditations. And she said, I would like to come to one of these meditations. And she did. And she loved it. And she got some real benefit from it. And she had a lot of things that she was juggling within her work. And the things that I was inviting her to, the events, really had an impact. And they really changed the way that she was being in life. And she started referring to me as her mentor. And this is what can happen, that people will look at you. You don't necessarily have the title. You don't say, I will mentor you, particularly, especially in that situation. But she saw me as a mentor because she was seeing that I was doing some different things, and things that she was seeing were giving me an experience. And one of the things I would say when I'd been to a meditation, I would say, I'm going to float home tonight. And she turned around to me and she says, now I understand why you say float home. It didn't make sense. Now I understand it. And it was because I was guiding her to look at solutions for the things that she was finding stressful within her working environment. And it opened up an entire new world for her that she wouldn't have tapped into otherwise. And that's what mentorship does. It actually opens doors, opportunities, and people that you perhaps wouldn't have normally tapped into because your vibration or your looking or where you are venturing isn't in that space. So one of the other things that is important to share about mentorship is that over the years, I have paid a hell of a lot of money. I've invested a huge amount of money in training and in my own mentorships with other people. And I've paid literally hundreds of thousands of pounds over the years. And sometimes I'm a little bit embarrassed to say I've just invested in another training course because, you know, a lot of people will turn around and say, why are you doing more training? And it's because I'm one of these people that perpetually needs to continue my education. I'm continuing to explore, and it never stops. And I remember when I was 30, I think it was, my mum turned around to me and she said very insightfully, I can imagine you will still be doing training courses when you are 60. I am now 60 years old, and my mum is not wrong. But 30 years ago, how did she know? And it was because that was the way that I moved. That was what was moving me, and that was what was inspiring me. That was part of my journey. At 30 years old, I'd already done a lot of academia, and I was already exploring the type of training courses in terms of personal self-development, and I was looking at spiritual involvement. And so I was on a real big journey, and my mum could see it. And because she could see it, she insightfully said, I will still be doing courses when I'm 60. And I sure am still doing courses. Now, you're probably looking at me and looking at what I look like and saying there is no way that I am 60. And this is my piece to resistance, because I believe the kind of mentors that I've had and the education and the insights and the perspectives and the opportunities have actually moved me into keeping ever youthful. And it has moved me into a place where I now have wisdom. I've turned education and experience into wisdom, and I'm not just talking about it, I'm living by it and living in practice. And that's what a mentor does. They live in a state of beingness and a state of practice. They're not pulling out a textbook, and they're not saying, I just need to check this. They are working and living from a state of educational wisdom. So they've lived it, they've breathed it, and then they're inspirationally sharing it with you. And they might be inspirational to you because it wouldn't have been something that you may have explored otherwise. I want to share a couple of people that have entered my life in terms of the mentorship and what's happened to me in terms of how I've gained new perspectives. When you are in your joy, when you are doing something that you really enjoy, and I've been quite lucky in that respect, I've been always in the type of work that has been a hobby, that I've moved from the hobby and I've then trained in it, got the qualifications, got all the case studies done, gained the expertise, and then I've actually helped others solve the problems that I've solved. And in those many years, and I started this journey back in 1992, I've actually been trained and mentored by a lot of Americans. And I'm British, English, British, born here, and live very Englishy, very Britishy. Although I'm very English and British, I've actually been mentored by a lot of extremely wise American mentors and trainers. So I have very wide and different perspectives from a normal British person, in air quotes. What am I getting at here? I've actually been exploring a lot of things that perhaps a normal British person might not have explored in the time that I started to, and that was back in the early 90s. And on my spiritual involvement journey and healing journey, it was more 2000 and onwards. And one of the reasons for that is my father passed away in 2000, and I was looking for answers because I was diagnosed as having a clinical depression. And I was in it, and I didn't have the answers. I didn't understand what had happened to me. And I was looking outside of the family and the friendships and the peer groups. I was looking outside for answers. And then I found courses and I found trainers to help me go through a healing therapy journey. And in that space of my own healing therapy journey, I solved things that I needed to solve to live again. And now that's what I do in helping others. And rather than just talking about it because I've done a training course on it or I've read a book, which is what some people will do, is I'm living and breathing and teaching and mentoring in a way from a place of ease and comfortability rather than trying to remember facts, rather than trying to remember specifics. Now, when I made a decision to really be myself and talk my truth, when I found that I wanted to talk about playing my part to create world peace, it was a very poignant moment because I'd been doing a lot of things and helping a lot of people that I didn't feel I was playing a big enough game. So what happened was I made a decision to tell people that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help more people to become stress-free to the point of moving from head to heart. And all stress resides in the mind. When there is no mind, there is no stress. And I believed that all we have to do is to move people from head to heart. And this is where we can play our part to raise the level of consciousness to create world peace. And I thought, well, I need to talk to people. I need to say it in a bigger forum. And suddenly speaking opportunities came. And when I was given my first speaker opportunity, it was with a good friend who had become a mentor. And he also was my promoter. And he said to me, now you are going to speak on my stage. And so if your purpose is bigger than yourself, suddenly opportunities appear. And when I started to speak about wanting to play my part to create world peace, suddenly people started to come. And I was attracting a different type of person. I attracted my first promoter. I also attracted a couple of people coming from my first talk and came all the way through. I attracted a beautiful Tibetan monk who was a lama. And he, without me asking, gave me hints and tips. He gave me perspectives on my talks, and he gave me insights that I perhaps wouldn't have seen because I was too nervous. I just wanted to get the content out. And I attracted somebody else from an academy that I had trained with, and we'd landed up having lunch, and he became another mentor. And the two of them were sitting in the front rows of the places that I was speaking at on stage. I didn't pay either of them one single penny. And that's probably because the student was ready and the masters appeared, or the mentors appeared. And I had spent literally hundreds of thousands of pounds prior to that. And then I understood why. Because those people realized that this was something that would benefit the many. And one of those mentors was Philip Chan. And he referred me to Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. And this is her channel. This is her show. She is the wonderful and amazing superstar of USA Global TV and Radio. And she wanted experts like myself, and I needed platforms to reach more people. And so suddenly what happened is that I became the resident therapist. even though I was worried, embarrassed, not comfortable, not feeling comfortable about doing live TV. Why am I sharing this with you? If I had not seen my mentor's perspective, I would never be here. I would never have thought that I was good enough or had enough content. And that's what a mentor can do for you. A mentor can give you reassurance, guidance, and actually help you step up your game. They can change what you see and what's possible, because they see more of you than what you realize. And so their guidance is almost paramount to you moving into places that you wouldn't have normally thought about or even considered. And I never, ever considered live television, ever. And that's because I had my own inner lack of confidence issues about, yeah, I do great things and I help people from a small stage and I help people one-to-one and I'm good at that and I'm good at solving people's problems because I've done lots of training. But what about sharing it to more people and helping more people? And this is what a mentor can do. A mentor can give you a perspective you never would have seen. And this is something that I really honor in my mentors, because I'm a difficult cookie. And I challenged Philip Chan for about a year. And I said, no, I don't have enough content. I don't have enough confidence to do live television. And he kept saying to me, I've watched you. I've listened to all of your talks. You have it. You are going to do well. You don't need to worry. And here it is. He saw something in me that I didn't see in me. And that's what a mentor can give you. They'll give you a different inner guidance, and they'll give you a different type of encouragement, not from the place of you falling over and failing, but from a place where they believe you can do more and help more people with your skills. And if I didn't have those mentors, I never would have had this opportunity to speak to you tonight and to speak as one of the expert panelists on this show. Now, herein lies your efforts in terms of what you do. Because when you become open in terms of other things, because you see, there are opportunities everywhere. It's just that when you're closed, you don't see them. A mentor can give you that guidance where you wouldn't have seen something. And I've just thought of something else that I want to share with you. I was at a workshop in Spain. It was really hot, and it was in January, and it was really hot in Spain. And it was cold in the UK, so I was very pleased to be in shorts and in the sunshine. And one of the trainers, they were talking about opportunities. And we'd had lunch, and then we went into the room. And what the trainer said is, there are opportunities everywhere. You just need to look. And he then went on to share, if you look hard enough, you will find money. You just need to be open to look in places that you might not consider looking at while you're sitting here listening to me talk. And I started to look under chairs, under my chair. I started to look behind doors. And you know what? There was euro notes everywhere. And I collected 80 euros, which I was told I could keep. Now, some people, they didn't play the game, and so they didn't find any money, any notes, because they didn't get up and do something. But what happened was, the ones that did, get out of their comfort zone. And that's what it is, getting out of their comfort zone. And it wasn't a thing that would have been familiar to me, to look under chairs and behind doors and, you know, in different places and higher than and I'm only 5'2", higher than my height. I started to look and I kept finding all these notes. Now I found €80, and that was in many different denominations of notes. Some were €5, some were €10, and some were €20. So it was more than once or twice or three times. It was many times. And the moral of what I'm sharing with you is this: a mentor can guide, a mentor can teach, and a mentor can educate. And a mentor can't make you do something. And here's my next piece of that share. A mentor can do all of that guidance and education. And in England, we have a British saying, you can take a horse to water. You can guide them to the water, but you can't force them to drink the water. And so it is about then the person taking some action. And from the guidance and the mentorship and the opportunities that they share with you, it is then up to you to take action. And here's another final piece to that share, because there is another bit of that particular insight, is that not everything is right for everyone. We are all different. And if it's not right for you, it's good to listen and then make a decision. And one of the things that one of my trainers said to me many years ago, over 2 decades ago, they said, I'm going to share some things with you from my own experience, from my own education and training. Now, some things will sit well with you and you will like and you will love, and you will take them on board and you will start to use them. And there may be other things that you think, no, I don't agree with you. And I want you in that moment not to judge me, to make a decision and take the things that you like, you love, and take them with both hands and apply them in your life. And the things that you don't like and you don't agree with, to put them on one side. You might even say, thank you for sharing your wisdom, because it's been very educational. And I love these things, and I'm going to take and use these things. But there are a few things that, you know, I can't do everything. So there's a few things that are not right for me right now. And to be honest, because a mentor doesn't know how they can impact your life. They don't know what you've taken on board. And sometimes it's good to give them feedback. And the final thing that I want to share with you is the cycle of gratitude. When you are grateful, when you say thank you, or you say, I'm in deep gratitude for what you've shared, and I really honor you. So being in a place of gratitude, I call it the attitude of gratitude. When you are in that space of that frequency of gratitude, it is a heart vibration. And when you are grateful for something, what happens is you bring more of what you are grateful for into the space, and you will attract more. Now, what we do generally, especially in England, we are a nation of complainers, and we generally complain about things that we're not happy about. And guess what happens there? We generally attract more of what we're not happy about. So we create more problem. And when people are in challenge, they generally will be focused on more of what is not working, rather than being open to look at possible solutions. And a mentor, when they come into your life, whether they're paid or unpaid, and you will then earn the right, you will find that you will earn the right, and people will come and be attracted to you because you're serving a higher purpose. You're working in something for the greater good of many, rather than just focused on yourself and self-replenishment of finances. When you are looking to help for the greater good of humanity, the greater good of others, other people will want to join your tribe, they'll want to join your community, and they'll want to be part of what you are offering. And then mentorships come in a way that is really, really powerful. And so I've attracted beautiful mentors in my later years that I hadn't become aware of how wonderful they were until they stopped being part of my life. There's two mentors that I've mentioned, my beautiful monk and Philip Chan. Both of them have passed away. I'm forever in their debt, and I'm forever grateful for what they brought into my life and the opportunities they shared with me. So be in a space of gratitude. When somebody offers you possible solutions, be in a space of gratitude, because from that space, those answers might not be right for you in that moment, but you know what? They might be later on, or they might bring other opportunities that you wouldn't have seen if you hadn't been open. Well, we're actually at the end of our show. So I can't believe how quickly that went. And would you believe it if I told you that I didn't realize I was going to be doing this show on my own? I only found out quite last minute that my two other expert panelists were not able to make it through unforeseen circumstances in terms of being unavailable to be able to attend the timing. So what has that shared with you? This is about an opportunity. I made a decision to take the opportunity. And I trust that I have shared enough for you to feel comfortable in engaging a mentor. Whether you engage a mentor through a paid mentorship or a mentor through earning the right to have a mentor in your life, like I did, please do consider mentorship in terms of being an avenue to explore opportunities and perspectives that you may not have seen, or you might not be readily available to look at because you didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And it's not that you're wrong, but you can never know everything. And I pride myself in not expecting myself to know everything. What I can say is I'm always open to listen. And when I'm open to listen, I find out more about what's possible. And I engage in many different mentorships. Some are paid, some are not, and some are amazing in terms of what I've learned. And I'm 60 years old. So thank you very much for listening. I trust it's been educational, inspirational, and more importantly, interesting for you to look at different perspectives in terms of mentoring and how it can guide you in your life. Before we finish, I just want to give you a little bit about me and how you can reach me. I am offering a 1 hour introductory session, which is both mentoring and counselling and therapy and coaching. So it's a mixture. So you can come to me with 3 problems, and the introductory price is a crazy £50. It's a 1 hour introductory one-off session. I also have packages, and I'd be more than happy to help you on an ongoing basis. I look forward to welcoming you and helping you bust your stress. You can reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk, or call me if you're international, +44 if you're local, 07523 120 189. And now it's time to go over to our sponsors. But before we go over to our sponsors, just a reminder that there is a Woman's Prerogative Part 2. And so I will be hosting Part 2 at 9 p.m. British Summer Time. That's in a one and a bit hours. And I will be bringing along another expert panelist, MARISKA from New Zealand. And she's always good fun and good value because she has a different perspective. So I look forward to seeing you shortly at 9 p.m. British Summer Time. And sharing with you other perspectives on our topic, Part 2, A Woman's Prerogative, Part 2, The Power of Mentorship, Empowering Women Through Guidance. Thank you very much. And now over to our sponsors. Bye-bye for now.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette, building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.